good morning and welcome along to another Claret and Booze Daily Show. My name's John. I'm part of a trio of presenters or people that run this channel, me, Nick and Gary, and we hope to bring you news as daily as possible. Just before we start the video, if you like what you see and you enjoy the show, please like the show with a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit that bell notification, as that really helps us out going forward. Well, where else can I start today other than transfers? For me so far, the transfer window has been a good one. What with the signings of Areola, Aguerd, Downs, and the beautiful man that is Shamaka. Going forward, in my opinion, we do need some help down the left, whether that be left back, left midfield, left wing back, whatever you want to talk about there. So today's show is going to be covering a couple of those players and a couple of those links that we've been linked with for a long time now, seemingly, and also a couple of new ones. Now, I'm going to start with one link that I saw yesterday, which is a bit of an odd one for me, and that was Mason Holgate of Everton. Now, we all know Mason Holgate. He's been in the Premier League with Everton since 2015. He's only 25, came from Barnsley. He played for England under 20, under 21. Is he really the sort of player that West Ham need to go for? I mean, he's a good age, 25. But for me, shipping out Diop and bringing in Mason Holgate is just, you know, it's papering over the cracks to some extent. It's not really moving forwards. It's probably moving sideways. Now, I understand that Diop maybe wants to leave, quite understandably, if he wants some sort of guarantee of first-team football. As much as I'd like to see us keep Diop, if he wants to go, then, you know, he goes off with my blessing. For me, Mason Holgate, you know, he's played over 100 games in the Premier League for Everton. He's a good, solid player. Not really sure if it excites me, but who knows? Mason Holgate to West Ham. You know, stranger things have happened. Could be a good buy. Does have Premier League experience. I'm just not sure. I just think that I'd rather keep Diop, basically. But of course, that is based on the fact if Diop wants to stay. Quite understandably, he may not. Another player, left-sided player, another English-born Premier League experienced player, is one that's been going on for a couple of months now, is Luke Thomas of Leicester City. Luke Thomas is 21 years of age. He's played for England at under 18, 19, 20 and 21 level. You know, he's only played a handful of games really for Leicester first team, but he does come with good pedigree. He's tenacious, he's young, he's exciting. £20 million, I think the fee is. Now, you could say that's a lot of money for somebody who's played such few games. But if you think about it, at the age of 21, £20 million, technically, you know, you've got 10 years worth of left back there. So, sounds a lot of money, but English players, English-born players, price tags are quite inflated, as we know. And at the age of 21, he does have obviously a lot of time ahead of him. You could argue that why do we need to buy somebody of this sort of age, as we have Longelo? It's a good point, but what you got to remember is Longelo doesn't have the Premier League experience yet, although he's only going to gain that by playing football for West Ham. So it's a bit of a tough one for me. I'd rather see Longelo given the chance if we're going to buy somebody like Thomas. But I do understand that maybe in Moyes' eyes and Newman's eyes, Thomas is more ready-made as a replacement for Cresswell, the ageing Cresswell, because he has played Premier League football already, maybe 30, 40 games for Leicester. So, yeah, another interesting one there. You know, I don't want to spend this video, you know, slagging off Cresswell because I'm a massive fan of Cresswell. And his days at West Ham aren't over, right? We know he had a couple of bad moments last season. We know possibly his pace has gone to some extent. But for me, Cresswell still has an important part to play for West Ham United, whether that be as a squad player, whether that be as starting certain cup matches. Let's not write him off just yet. You know, we're going to be fighting on 4 fronts next season again, what with the Carabao Cup, FA Cup, Conference League and the Premier League. So you're going to need players like Cresswell. You're going to need a squad. You're going to need a bench to rival last season's, which, let's be honest, wasn't particularly great. So, yeah, Mason Holgate, Luke Thomas. Give me your thoughts on those two. Next one, we have spoken about this guy before, is the Polish international Petr Zielinski. Now, Zielinski's been playing for Napoli since 2016. He's been in Italy for about 10 years already. He's 28 years of age. He's played over 70 caps for Poland, first team, men's team, whatever you call it. He would be a fantastic acquisition. As I said, he's played over 300 games for Napoli. He's a seasoned professional. A very attack-minded midfielder. Loves to dribble, as I've said, as we discussed last week in our Claret and Boozer. The thing with me is that I have seen a lot of people question why we're going for someone like Zielinski and others because of their age, being 27, 28, 29. Moyes has made the show of intent buying younger players like Aguerd and Downs. What you got to remember is you have to balance the team out. You have to have seasoned professionals such as Zielinski would be. You know, it's all very well bringing the age of the squad down, but you still need a sprinkling of experience. You still need a sprinkling of ready-made professionals who are ready to go, straight in, no holds barred, have a massive depth of international, European pedigree. You can't put a price on that. And I've seen a lot of people saying we're not going to get Zielinski, and we may not. But we do have Lucas Fabianski, who could help the deal go through, both being Polish internationals. They know each other very well. A little bit like with Schumacher, apparently Pedro Obiang, who also plays for Sassuolo, he spoke very highly of West Ham, which in some way persuaded Schumacher to come, even though he had interest from technically bigger European clubs on the continent. So it may be a little bit of a tough one to get over the line, Zielinski. He may well be settled in Italy, but maybe he's looking for a new challenge. He would be fantastic acquisition, let's be honest. The only thing is we do have a lot of number 10s. A lot of people have said we have a lot of number 10s. We have a lot of players who play in his position, attacking midfielders. But this guy's a different kettle of fish. This guy's quality. In my opinion, he would come straight into the first team for West Ham United. No doubt about it. Yeah, so another midfield target for West Ham. Moyes values him very highly, apparently. Fabianski could be the deal breaker, as was Obiang with Schumacher. So, yeah, for me, it'd be a very interesting one. Another midfielder that we've been linked heavily with and who apparently we've had a bid rejected for is the fantastic Filip Kostic. Now, we spoke about him in depth. You know, everyone knows this guy. Another seasoned professional, 29 years of age. Serbian international, fantastic winger, attack-minded, has a massive amount of assists. And would we really say no? Now, for me, this is one that I would really love to see over the line. This would show huge intent on West Ham's part. Now, excuse me. Obviously, Frankfurt, by winning the Europa League last season, qualified for the Champions League. So you could argue that Champions League football is going to be an important factor in the acquisition of somebody like Filip Kostic. But, you know, we showed a real hunger to get the Schumacher deal over the line. Schumacher was being, as I said, touted around by other clubs. PSG, namely, apparently was one of them. He still came to West Ham. So West Ham, the project, West Ham, the club, was sold to him. And for that, I have to, you know, take my hat off to David Moyes, Rob Newman, and whoever else was involved in that negotiation. They obviously really sold the club and the project to Schumacher to get him to choose us over PSG. Now, we know he had aspirations to play in the Premier League, which probably helped to some extent. But he had the opportunity to go to PSG and play with people like Mbappe and Messi. And it doesn't come along often. So well done, Newman, well done, Moyes. And I think that with this potential target of Kostic from Frankfurt, I think this could be another one. I think this could be... I think this could be a massive, massive deal for West Ham. We know that down the left, we've had problems with Benny, who I love, but just has a little bit of inconsistency. This guy can play, you know, winger, left back, whatever, left wing back. He can do it all. God, we've all got cough this week, haven't we? We had an offer for Kostic, which apparently was provisionally accepted, but has now been rejected. Apparently, Frankfurt are looking for around £17 million for the player. I mean, if we're not happy meeting £17 million for the player, surely for the experience he has, let alone the skill and potential he has in changing the dynamics of West Ham United Football Club, £17 million is peanuts. You know, let's not quibble over this. Let's try and go for this guy. He, you know, he's a fantastic player, as we saw when we played them in the Europa League. He did really well against us. So the club will probably have to offer huge wages in order to tempt him away from Champions League football. Also, another interesting factor, which I forgot to mention, is that he has the same agent as Schumacher. Now, it would seem the Schumacher deal went through all hunky-dory. Everyone was smiling in those team photos. All these agents, I'm sure they were smiling. So hopefully we've got his agent on side, and that could be, you know, a winning formula in order to get Kostic over the line and into the club. Last but not least, I'm going to talk about David Raum, or Raum, I don't know how you pronounce his name. German international, recent German international, left back, left midfielder, predominantly left back. Fantastic story, this really. He moved to Hoffenheim on a free transfer in 2021 from second division team, or German championship, if you like, team called Gruffer Fürth. David Raum at Hoffenheim, he's not on big wages. For me, this would be quite a good deal for West Ham United at 24 years of age, more so than Thomas, and definitely as a replacement for Cresswell. David Raum, German international, as I said, very exciting player. He likes to get forward, very solid defensively, but for me, it's a no-brainer. His wages at Hoffenheim are ridiculously low in our standards for a Premier League footballer. I'd like this one to go through. It'd be a real show of intent for West Ham. I know I've said that numerous times on this video already. But I think what's happened at West Ham now is that we've had a couple of disappointments, what with, whatever his name is, being the main one, where people have thought that Moyes has been strung along. Maybe he has or maybe he hasn't. But I'm really excited by this transfer window already that we've had. And I think with players like Kostic, Raum, Zielinski, that would excite me even more. I'm not sure we'll get all three. And I'm not sure that we'll even get 2 of them. I think we'll definitely get 1 of them. And I'm not trying to burst your bubble, but I think that somebody like Kostic for me would be a priority, massive priority, purely based on the fact that I think that we lack a lot of pace at certain times when we get the ball and break. We sometimes look very lethargic at times last season. And when we had him, he did change our game somewhat because of his pace that he had and his directness. And I think Kostic is in a very similar vein to that. Now, if we got Kostic alongside the others we've already got, I'd be very happy with that window. But then if we only got Kostic out of Kostic, Raum and Zielinski, if we only got Kostic, then I think that's when we would look at getting some of these other bit part players. Now, I've seen us linked with, we've been linked with loads of players, but this one sort of splits the fan base, I've noticed. Dennis and Sarr from Watford. Now, for me, Dennis, £20 million, it is a lot of money to pay for somebody who's probably going to sit on your bench. But I'd take him. If the club were willing to pay that money, I'd take him. He's a decent player. He's good to have on the bench. Sarr, similar, we know all about. So I wouldn't be very disappointed if we came out of this window remaining with Kostic and maybe one of those. We've had a great window thus far, and I hope that we continue to buy players who will improve the squad, which I'm sure we will. It'd be interesting to see who we get going forwards, but I would like to say that I'm starting to trust Newman now in what he's doing, hopefully. The Schumacher deal really excites me. And hopefully we can add to it. Now, in terms of players that we already have at the club, what I don't want to happen is for people like Cresswell and Antonio to be totally written off out of the club. You know, people saying, that's it, their time's over. As I said earlier on, we're going to be fighting on 4 fronts. So whatever you think of Antonio's finishing, whatever you think of Cresswell's pace, we are still going to need those players. There's no point lambasting them and calling them out and slagging them off because they're still going to be an integral part of West Ham United Football Club, and quite rightfully so. Neither of them are finished. They had bad spells last season. Yes, I agree. For me, Antonio, whilst the Schumacher deal excites me and everybody, let's not forget what Antonio has done. He's carried our front line for 18 months. And this video wasn't meant to be a praising of Antonio in general. It's meant to be a little bit of a transfer update. But I just wanted to get that off my chest. So let me know what you think of the players I've discussed in the comments. Let me know what you think about Cresswell, Antonio going forwards. How are they going to fit into West Ham? Personally, I think they've got a big part to play still. And I'm sad to see many fans writing them off. So that's it for today, Friday, the 29th of July. Thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed the show, please, as I said, like the show. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you can, hit the bell notification. You'll be told anytime we put a show out there. Coming up, we do have our Claret and Booze show coming up at the weekend. We're not sure if it's Saturday or Sunday yet, probably on Sunday evening. And we do, in a few weeks' time, we will have a very special West Ham history video coming out, which Nick's editing. He's taking his time over it because he wants to do it justice. That's with Nigel Khan, West Ham know-it-all historian. It was a fantastic day out, and that will be out very shortly. So when you hit the bell notification, you'll be advised when that's free to watch. Anyway, thanks for watching, and come on, you irons.